All right. So I was gonna play. I was gonna go out. I practiced on Monday in this account just to play a low level account, and I didn't record it. And then I ended up qualifying, so I was gonna play it today, but I didn't. And I've been trying to play this account so that I can get some of these low level commons that I have maxed out where I can get 300 cards in them so I can start participating in the club card trading. And I have on several days been able to participate because I had over 300 extra cards in them, but I don't play this account a lot. So if I played it a little bit more often, I'm curious in the club card trading whether or not, like, I haven't played. I don't have Tour 7's not available to me. And I haven't played any Tour 6, even though it is available to me. I'm just wondering in the club card trading, you're not going to get a brand new card. So if I don't believe you will. So if I don't already have that card open, but like what cards are available? I don't have any Tour 7 cards, and I don't have all the Tour 6 cards. So we'll see. But just being able to, on some of these rares, getting 30 cards at a time to bump them up. And it seemed like the last time I got them, I actually bumped up. The 2 times I got them, I got pretty crappy cards in them, and I bumped up my commons to try and get them maxed out so that all these low level commons are at level 10. I'm just seeing how it works. I've been slow playing this account. I have, what do I have? 22,000 games, 1,135 WAN. So I've played a few games in it, but I haven't played anything above Tour 5. And I've been trying to play. So I shot a video a long time ago. It's probably one of the videos that I have that's got the most views. It might actually be the one that has the most views, where I talked about where do you go to get extra mile cards. And when I shot that video, it was way back in the day when this is how it used to be, is that every course that was in Tour 2, so when we look at the courses that are in 2, Juniper Point and Santa Ventura, those were the same courses that were in Tour 7. And so what happened at Tour 7 is we now go to the Pro Tees. So we're playing from the Pro Tees. And so anything that you had that was in Tour 3 was in Tour 8, and anything that was in Tour 4 was in Tour 9, and anything that was in Tour 5 was in Tour 10, and that's how it works. So you could, way back in the day, if you were playing those, you could go out there and you could get an idea. It didn't help you off the tee, but if you were in the same spot, it would kind of give you an idea of what you were looking at as far as to the cup. So there was some benefits to it. And we first get our extra mile in Tour 2. So the big question back in the day was, like, do you get more when you're playing down low, or do you get more extra miles when you're playing up higher? Well, it's kind of when you're playing Tour 7 as an example, now you have access to every card in the game. So the pool of cards is now diluted. So now you have every card, every single card that you can get, every club is in there. So looking at trying to get like one specific card, you're going to have less chance because you got every card's in the pool. And so when you do open up a chest and it has rares in it, now you could get the potential of getting every rare in the game, not just an extra mile. So the question, but when you get an extra mile in one of those bigger chests, you get more club cards for it because it's a bigger chest. It's a higher tour. So you're going to get more prizes for winning a chest in Tour 7 than you get for winning a chest in Tour 2. In my experience, when we look at rares, like what rares do we have that you could get in Tier 2 or Tour 2, for example? We could get the Apache. We could get the Rough Cutter. Or Tour 1, excuse me. When we get to Tour 2, we now have access to the Rough Cutter, the Apache, the Extra Mile. Anything else? I think that might be it. And that's it. So now we have 3 rares. So if you open up a chest, if you win a chest in Tour 2, you got a 1 in 3 chance that you're going to get an extra mile. But in my experience, you're more apt to get the Rough Cutter and what was the other one? The Rough Cutter and the Apache. You're more apt. So if you're playing in Tour let's go back to the tours here. If we're playing in Tour 2, we're more apt to get the Tour, is that right? We're more apt to get the Tour 1 clubs, the lower level clubs, than we are to get the extra mile. It's the club you get here. So when you're playing Tour 3, it could be argued that if you're playing Tour 3, your odds, and I think there's three rares in Tour 3. So when you get to Tour 3, now you went from 3 to 6. So now you got a 1 in 6 chance of getting them. But you're more apt to get the club cards from the lower tours when you're playing Tour 3 than you are the Tour 3 rares. So, like, where do you play? And that's the deal. Where is the best place to get them? I would say it's probably down here because you have less cards in your pool. And so you're more apt to open up a chest that has rares in it. You're more apt to get an extra mile card in one of these lower tours. But when you do get it in one of the bigger chests, if you're playing higher tours, then you're going to get more of those club cards. So I'm not sure. That's the whole deal. I don't think, I mean, anybody that said, well, this is absolutely the way to do it, I'm not sure that we can absolutely say that. But I am trying to play lower tours so that I don't have access to Tour 5, 6, and 7 clubs. So I've been trying to play Tour 4. And the reason I've been playing Tour 4 in this account is because I have the opportunity to get quarterbacks. And when you have lower developed clubs, for me, at least in my game, especially if you've got a bag that's got, you got more than one bag. I want a distance bag, which is going to be my extra mile. I want an accurate bag, which is going to be my quarterback. And then I want a utility bag, which is going to have my big topper in it. And so those 3 clubs are the clubs that I'm looking at. As they go up and you get your clubs, and this extra mile is going to be in your bag forever until you can get an APOC 7. And once you get an APOC 7, then you're in the thing where the APOC 7 really does. It's got more distance. It's got a better ball guide. It's got more backspin. It's got more curl. It's everything. And it's more accurate. But it's going to take forever and a day to get your APOC to 7. When your APOC becomes useful, you may use it on some holes, but a lot of times you're going to be using your extra mile because it has more topspin, and it has, this club is going to be pound for pound the driver that's probably played more games in the game than any other driver out there. And a lot of people discount the big topper. So you look at your extra mile and you compare it against your big topper and you go, wow, 234, 217, man, that extra mile. But there's a lot of times where here's a rough area and this is fairway and this is rough and your red line's out here in the rough and you have to pull your extra mile back in order to hit in the fairway right here. Well, hell, if you have to pull your extra mile back, you're not using the 234. So the 234 is not that big of a deal. And I can guarantee you your big topper has more topspin. So you may net, I mean, I got a level 7 extra mile here and it's got 50 topspin versus 100. That is huge. Huge. So if you can reach the first bounce spot with a big topper, you will net more yardage with your big topper than you will with your extra mile. And there's sometimes when you're just out there hitting it straight forward that you'll still net more yardage with your big topper. So it is a great club, and there are some times when the extra mile is, there's a lot of times when the extra mile is the obviously better club, but there's a lot of times when your extra mile comes up wanting that you can get it done with the big topper. And it's always good to have a quarterback if you've got low developed clubs because it's a really accurate club and it's got good ball guide. There's a lot of times where you really want to kind of pinpoint place your drive and you don't have to hit it a mile. And it's going to give you a little bit more accuracy. And as it goes up, it will pick up a little bit more. I think it gets to like 50 topspin. There will become a point where you're like, which is better, the QB or the rock? When your rock gets to level 9, it's the better club. And you'll very seldom ever use your quarterback. But until it gets to level 9, there are some times when the rock is better just because its raw distance is better. But up until it gets to level 9, the quarterback is the better club. So I've been playing Tour 4 just because I can get access to the quarterback, and then it still gives me access to the extra mile, because I am trying to get my extra mile to level 8, because at level 8 it does get some stuff. It obviously picks up some stuff when it gets maxed out at level 9, but at level 8, you got your extra map pretty decent. So I'm going to play some Tour 4. I went through all that, and I'm going to play some Tour 4 because I got some time off right now, and I got nothing to qualify. I've already did the stuff, so I'm going to play some Tour 4. So for those of you that are new to the game, or you've got lower developed stuff, here's the deal. You don't have to be a rocket scientist, and you don't have to be extremely good at the game to be super successful with newer stuff. Here's what you have to do. I have a cheat sheet. So you can go to Golf Clash Notebook, and you can go to clubs. Go to golfclashnotebook.io and go to one of the tabs that's in there is clubs, and you can go to clubs and you can find all of your clubs. So like I have a QB8 and I have a Big Topper 4. Right here, Big Topper 4. I have a rocket. I didn't write it down, but I think I have a maxed out rocket here. And I have a sniper. And so I have all of the clubs. Some of them I have what level I have it on, and some of them I don't. And then I have what the club hits at max, what it hits at mid, and what it hits at minimum. For these up here, the drivers, the mid and the minimum aren't that big of a deal. The max numbers are typically all we're ever going to use. But I do have them all written down. When you start getting into your woods, it is important to have those numbers written down. But where it's super important is like long irons and short irons. And having those numbers written down, because there'll be a lot of times where like my Thorn, which is my primary short iron that I'm using in this account. And the reason I'm using my Thorn in this account is because I've switched and I'm using my Thorn in all of my other accounts, and I want to stay consistent so that I'm getting comfortable with Thorn. But having the max number, the mid number, and the minimum number. Now, if you're using the app, you have a slider. And so like here's max, here's mid, but you may be here. So when you pull forward and you go, hey, here's my max red line and here's my minimum red line, and where I'm setting the shot up is actually in the 3/4 mark. I have these numbers right here represent my 1/4 and 3/4. And I don't, it's always iffy. I try and put myself so that I'm in mid, or I'm in minimum, or I'm in max, and I try and avoid having to use these numbers, but I do have them written down just in case, because there's sometimes you're like right there and the shot's not going in, and it's like, well, let me switch to the 3/4 number or the 1/4 number and see if that gets me there. But just having a cheat sheet, that's it, a piece of paper. And as when you first start playing, your clubs are going to go up in level pretty high, especially if you're playing, if you play for an hour every day, you're going to get your clubs going up, and you got to remember to go back when you get a club that's upgraded. I was looking at these numbers the other day for this is why I have this level down here. I was looking at my Saturn, and I forgot that I upgraded it to level 8, and I still had my level 7 numbers. These are the level 7 numbers up here. So you'll have to change your sheet. Super easy. You can just change it. You can write all of the clubs that you could potentially use on a piece of paper and print it out, and then you could write in the numbers, and the next time you could print it again and then write all the numbers, and you could do it in Word and then print it out, however you want to do it. This is super freaking old school right here, but it doesn't take much. I use a tablet, and then I always have these notes. I actually have a book, but I carry the notes for my clubs inside of my tablet, inside of my case, and then when I open it up, I've got a bunch of notes in there for different clubs. I also play with my phone on the side, so I have my phone on the side and I'm using it as a calculator. You can get the app and do that, but this is the super old school way to do it, with just a freaking piece of paper and a calculator. And you will win a lot of matches with just a piece of paper and a calculator. It doesn't take a lot. It's going to restart. Are you kidding me? I wasn't there for 5 hours? Okay, well, I got a Marlin. I'm going to take my number 1 bag. What courses do we have? They changed them. I was down in like 2 or 3 the other day, and man, the course was down there was the way they used to do it. Is I'm not saying that the courses that were in Tour 2 and Tour 3 and Tour 4, I mean, you had a little bit easier courses because you have lower developed clubs, and it gives you an opportunity to kind of get used to the game, and they don't beat you up. But hell, I was down in Tour 3, and there was a couple of the holes that were like like, wow, they put these holes down in a Tour 3. These are pretty tough holes. This hole right here is pretty tough. I'm not so sure. I think I'm gonna do this just to kind of see, because I am used to hitting forward like my opponent is. But you can get in some trouble going in there. But I'm gonna bring out my number 2 bag and my opponent. Now they didn't give me a gift. When you're playing one-on-one and your opponent gives you a gift, the key is to go fairway to green. Like, stay in the fairway. I'm gonna pull out my number 2 bag. I want to see like what's the distance from over here, because like instead of trying to get over there, let's just see what happens when we just put it all on here. I'm gonna set it up. I'm a mile away from everything. The one cool thing about a quarterback, super easy. It's 3.5 wind. It's 100% accurate. That means it's 1 per ring. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3.5 miles an hour. I'm going to put max curl on it because I put it way out in the middle of the fairway. I should have plenty of room. And I'm just going to throw it out there with no overpower, no nothing, and just see what distance I have to the cup. Because I think it might be a nice clean that was lucky. Yeah. Lucky what? There is, from this direction, a rough bump that you can do right here. Now, the deal with that rough bump is you got sand and stuff that you got to deal with. So if you're new, that can be kind of tricky to do those rough bumps. So if you're trying to do what my opponent's doing, I think that if you're trying to bounce over like my opponent is, I see a lot of people end up in the sand from over here. And I'm just wondering on the left-hand side if there's not really any way you can screw up. I think you have just a straight up shot at the green. And I'm going to be using a sniper here, and a sniper is, once again, I got a Saturn. I thought it was going to be on sniper. There's sniper. Sniper is 100% accurate as well. Cool thing about a Saturn, it's actually 1.9 per ring, but the way I play it in one-on-one so that I can do easy math in my head is it's 2 per ring. So I got a 4-mile-an-hour wind, and that is going to be 2 rings. You notice I'm using my take shot down here. I haven't turned my grid on. I'm using the top of the ball. It's a little bit easier. Oh, and 75,000 rings great to the left. And my opponent is freaking spamming me. Go in the hole. Perfect. Hey, they were spamming me. I always like it when somebody's spamming you and you do that. Hey, you want to play again, man? Dude, you were giving me shit for whatever the reason. I wasn't paying attention, so I don't know what they were doing, but I kept seeing that there was stuff flashing up there. I mean, come on. Is it that big of a deal? Somebody's setting their shot up and they're doing something different than what you're doing, and you're going to do that? All right. What do we got here? What do we have? Where was I? Somebody called, so... Tour 4. Let's go do some more Tour 4 and see what we got going. I think that is a good way to hit over there. I have no idea what to do to the cup because I hit it great, but I think I hit it great on the wind side. So I did, if you ever hear anybody go, it's 1-to-1. It's 1 ring, 1 mile per hour. What do we got here? Another one of those courses. Let's bring out a bigger hitting wood or driver. Can I hit over here? I don't even remember how to play this hole. I think we do hit over here. This is what I'm talking about. There's some of these courses that are might be pretty tough for new clubs. 3 miles an hour. This club hits 2. It's at 2 miles an hour, so there's 3. And I'm going to push the forward wind back on so I can pick up a little distance. And 7,000 rings great to the left later, or excuse me, right. Will it make it over? No. Now that might have been a hole to use a big topper on right there. I wouldn't have as much distance, but I got 50 more topspin, and that might have been a hole. Maybe hit it straight forward here. I'm trying to remember this hole. I'm definitely not interested in hitting it. I think hitting it to the left, it's actually longer than hitting it to the right. But maybe just bouncing it from here, if I can get my pen to work from here, up into this area, you'd still have a shot at it. There's some of these courses that I really haven't played in one-on-one. I've only played them in tournaments. And this seems like one of them. Now, luckily for me, my opponent is in the rough. And I will tell you, if you've played this game for any length of time, here's the deal. Now everybody tries to be a hero. And I don't want to be a hero. Okay? I cannot get on in one. So I want to put my ball in the middle of the freaking fairway. So even if I don't make a wind adjustment from right here, I'm still going to end up in the middle of the fairway. But my jungleist hits 3.8 per ring at max. And so I'm just going to do a little less than a ring. And I'm just going to very gently hit a 2-ring great to the right and still end up in the middle of the freaking fairway. What happens is people freak out because they ended up in the rough. You cannot get on in one. And they try and press the issue to try and make up for the fact that they ended up in the rough. And they'll try and get over to this fairway that's up here. They'll try and do some hero thing. And here's the deal. It is so easy in this game, especially for people that have played it for a long time. They know exactly what I'm talking about. You go from the rough to the rough. From the sand to the sand. It's just too easy to do it. Even like my opponent right there doing the overpower. You're not going to get any farther. It's not going to change the deal. Why take an overpower shot when you have a huge opportunity to slice it or do some weird things? Why just get up there and get on and just get in the fairway. Where are we at? There's Max. Let's get where I can see. There's Max. There's Min. So I'm at mid club right here. So mid club with my thorn is 2.5 per ring. So 1.9 divided by 2.5 is 0.76, so 3/4 of a ring. There's about 3/4 of a ring. Isn't it perfect? In the hole. Look at that. Jeez. How lucky was that? Keep getting people texting me that I don't know. I don't know about everybody out there that's listening right now, but the spam calls, like if you get I get like 17 spam calls a day. You can call the phone company and go, well, there's nothing. I'll tell you, if they weren't making money on it, they would put a stop to it. But the phone companies are obviously making money on it, so they're not going to put a stop to it. Somebody's paying for that airtime. That's how you know when they go, oh, there's nothing we can do about it. You're the phone company. There is something you could do about it. All right. That easy. Keep yourself in play. Okay? If you end up in the rough or you end up in the sand, it's not a big deal. Put yourself in the fairway and give yourself the best shot to the cup that you can give yourself. I'm going to turn my grid on just so I have it up. I've gotten really busy. I planned on shooting a video on Material Q. You can get online. You won't be able to get it from the Play Store. You'll have to go to your favorite search engine, Google, Yahoo, whatever it happens to be, and you'll have to find it's Material Q, QUE, and find a download for it. All the download sites I found, they wanted you to jump through a bunch of hoops, and you got to be really careful when you're doing those things because they'll want you to upload. They'll want you to put on some other app as well. But if you can just get the Material Q app, you can get yourself a grid. If you get the Material Q app and you're like, hey, now I need the code for the grid, let me know and I'll send you some. I'll post the code. And I'm messing around with my grid right now. I've put these green lines in here to try and give myself a scale. And if I can get the ring so that it's directly in between those, which sometimes I can, so I've got the outside of the ring on the top one and the inside here. It's 0.2 of a ring per. I'm trying to see if it's throwing me off or if it's giving me some help or what the deal is. I know that I don't like them I'm not sure that I like them in the bright green. And I need to go through on my grid and change the color. I tried the whole goal. When you first get it, you think, oh, I want bright colors and be easy to see, and that's not true. What you want is something that blends in, but you can still see it, but it doesn't obstruct your view. You would be amazed at how much that little teeny line can obstruct your view. And they've changed the color on a lot of these courses. And it used to be a little bit darker, and now it's a little bit lighter. And so this color doesn't, I need to take a picture of the course and use my little eyedropper and find out what color it is, and then start messing around. It's not bad, but I think I can make it better. What the hell are we doing on this hole? Is this one of those ones where we're going over here, or where you're going up into this area? I think if you had good stuff, you'd probably want to go straight forward and try and drive it straight forward, but we're not bringing out anything good. And over here, we're going to have a short shot to the cup. It'd really be nice to just be over here. But I don't think this is enough distance. We'll have to see. 5, 9. Let's call that 6. That's 3 rings. I'm going to lean a little just to make sure it stays in the fairway, especially with the 2 ring grate to the left. But you'll notice on a lot of these shots, I set myself up in the middle of the freaking fairway. I've got a mile before I get to. I don't know that we can make it from there. That's the whole thing. I think you might have to get farther forward. That's why I'm looking at some of these holes, and I'm really surprised. Like, my opponent's got an extra mile 9, so it's got more distance, and they got a 1 power ball, so they got a little bit more distance to get over there, but I don't think I can make it from there. 10,000 games. I would expect that after 10,000 games, you probably do have an extra mile 9. I'm never really worried about that stuff because clubs aren't going to beat me. Balls might beat you. Somebody can come on some of these holes and bring out a 5 power ball, and you're playing with a 1 power ball, and that is a huge advantage for them. I don't think we have enough distance to get there, so we're going to have to, if I get back on this hole again, I'm going to have to get more distance than what I got right there. Now, I might be able to make it over there. And if I left that wind in, I could definitely give myself a pretty good run at it. I'm going to leave the wind in and go for it. 1 ring grate to the left. That means my second bounce is going to clip the rough, and let's see, does it get out? Does it get out? No, I made it. Excellent. Excellent. That only worked because of the way the wind was blowing. If the wind would have been blowing headwind, that wouldn't have worked. So that shot up there, I either need to get a little bit more distance on that, or when I'm on this hole, bring out a bag that's got a bigger hitting wood. Or I need to find a different way to come at the hole with the marlin, because I'm not going to upgrade. I'm not going to play one-on-one down here low and have to pull out a Titan or some bigger ball in order to get this stuff done. If we get this hole again, I'm going to play in a totally different direction so that we can see what we can get done with the marlin. And my opponent got me. See, that's the deal. I've won the last 2 by getting it in. And so when your opponent gets it, you got to give them like, that's good. Nice shot, my man. Let's see if they'll replay. Yeah, I gave you some props. No, you're not going to let me win my money back. I see how it is. I see how it is. I would like to get that hole again because I want to play it from a different direction and see what the deal is. Dang it. We lost. You got to remember you're a farmer in this game. So if you're playing one-on-one, I don't like to play without empty slots. I always want to have, if I get a win, I always want to have some place to put a chest. There are several ways that you can play this hole. You can play it down here to the end and go at it, and it would seem like a pretty good idea, but you got to go through this narrow little neck right here, and it can be difficult. Now you can play it over here and try and get the distance like my opponent's trying to do. If you got a bigger hitting club and you have a bigger ball, you got all kinds of options. That is what we call in the drink, aka the water hazard. I'm going to bring out my number 3 bag. And I'm going to go, I want to get over there. I know I can make it through the sand. I'm going to try and go right here and try and bounce over that sand. Now from experience, I'm going to play this with 20%. So 1.2 times 5.9 divided by 2.6. My big topper hits 2.6 at max. So it's 2.73 ring, or it's 2.72. There's 2.72. No overpower. Perfecto. And we'll see if we can bounce over the sand. Even if I end up in the sand, I know from experience that I can get out of that sand and recover. But just try and get over. This is a prime example of where you can come out and you can get stuff down with your big topper. But you've got to know what your big topper numbers are. And I know that my big topper hits at 2.6 per ring at max. And I just know from experience of playing this hole that on the drive shot, I do at 20%. And I'm not saying that's right, but I mean, it looked pretty right there. And it look how far down the hill it is. It carries a mile down there. And if you don't do the 20%, it rolls off like this at the very end and you hit it right here, it'll take a straight bounce, just like it did right there for my opponent. It takes a straight bounce and goes right over to the other side and you'll end up in the drink. Now I'm going to get risky here because my opponent gave me, I'm 2 shots up, and I'm going to take my Saturn. First of all, let's find out where we're at. There's max. And I will tell you right now, never forfeit. You get a free shot right there. You already paid for it. You get a free shot. Okay, go back out there and play it. You make one of those monster shots from distance and it goes in the hole and it's like, wow, you're the king, and you'll never find out if you don't. You gotta, I have a ton of forfeits in my 77 account. That's why my win percentage is so low, because I forfeited a couple thousand games because we used to get shootouts in the tournaments. And instead of playing the shootout, I would just forfeit the hole. Now, if it was a hole that I was really working on that I still needed some help on, I might play it, but I forfeited most of the time. I considered it giving back to the community, and I'd forfeit my match. But those are the only times I don't forfeit. I don't care if I'm 27 shots down, especially if you're practicing like a max overpower hook and you end up in the water, and then you go out there again and you end up in the water. I'm going to keep doing that until I can get out of the water. I'm learning right here, so the next time I come on this hole, you already paid. Go play. Don't be a forfeiter. Seahawks go first. Let's check out the Seahawks. 13,000 games. That's funny because they got 13,000 games. Well, they only got 11 million won, 11 million earned, so they've been playing low-level stuff. What you can do is you can take the They've got 7,116 wins. You can take 11,169,000 or 11,169,900, divide it by how many games they've won, and that'll give you an indication of what tour they typically play in. But that is a lot of games to only have a level 7 extra mile. We'll play with the big topper for a bit since we got it. I think I did this the other day, and you got to pull back just a little or you'll overshoot it. I'm going to just do the 2-2. I'm going to do one ring. That's 2-6. That's like a 15% adjustment. Hitting it perfect. Nice big topper shot. Big topper. I don't know with my extra mile if I had enough topspin where I could make it over there or if it would be an issue. But with the big topper, good ball. Perfect ball. Perfect club for that shot. And my opponent spotted me a shot, so we want to make sure we put the hammer down on him. Our goal is to win chess when we're playing one-on-one. A fairway to green. Fairway to green. Stay out of the rough, stay out of the sand, especially when you have new low clubs, because your sand, your rough iron and your sand wedge are not, I repeat, they are not the best clubs in your bag. And so I'm at minimum Saturn. I'm going to put just a smidgen of topspin. Let's kind of get aimed at the hole, and it's 4.2, and minimum Saturn is 2.7. So 4.2 divided by 2.7 is 1.55 rings. There's 155. Hitting it perfect. El Prefecto. Just at the hole. Look at that. Now we really put the hammer down. Good game. Good game. Good game. Now they've got a lot of games, so they're not a brand new player. They might have replayed us. You don't win unless you open up chest, and if I do get somebody that wants to replay, I want to have a couple extras. I want to have 2 slots open. I was playing the other day, and I had 1-2, and they wanted to replay. They were wanting to replay me, so I replayed, and I was ahead of them, and I could have won the 3rd game, and I forced a shootout, and then I went out in the shootout, and I did a dunk, because I wasn't going to be able to win anything. So I wanted them to be able to win a chest, and if I made the dunk, then I made the dunk, but I missed it. But I was being a good sport. I couldn't win anything, so I made sure my opponent got a win. It was one of those deals where you used to be able to replay people a billion times. There was no end to it. You didn't have to. Now you replay somebody 3 times and then you have to start over again. I guess Playdemic's perspective is that, oh my gosh, you might be out there with somebody and you might lose all the time and give them coins. Who cares? If the people are out there having fun and they're using balls, because you can't play this without using a ball. And whatever it is, unless it's a white ball, you have to pay for it. Who cares? Okay, now this is the hole that I laid up over here, and I really didn't like that shot. I'm going to see if I can get over here with the big topper, because I might be able to bridge the gap from here with the big topper and get up into this area. The thing about being over here is the shot to the cup is not really good. There is a rough bump from over there, it looks like, but the whole goal is not to use overpower if we can help it, because you're a lot more consistent when you're playing if you're not having to use overpower. And that looks like it might just roll. I got lucky it didn't roll off. Big Tapa. Yeah, I can get over there with the Big Tapa. The Big Tapa. What are you using? I'm using a Big Tapa. Now I'm going to have to put some curl on it because this ball doesn't have enough side spin. So you got to be thinking to yourself, you got to put it here, so you got to cover this angle. 3.3 divided by 2.6. It's 1.26 rings. And it's definitely downhill. So I mean, I'm going to do like 1.4, 1.5. And I got to put some curl on it to bring it back over to the fairway. Hitting it perfect. We'll see if that was enough curl. El Perfecto. Now that's a much better way to go. I'm going to have a shot here where I don't have to do overpower. Here's the thing. In a tournament, we would want to put ourselves in a spot so that this next shot, I could go for the cup. You could do this rough bumper. You could do some hero thing, and you've got the right ball, you got the right club, you're all set up for it, and you're hooked up. But I don't care about that here. My whole goal is to get on the green. So if I have to bounce it off of the fairway that my opponent's bouncing their ball off of to get it over there, or if I have to do a rough bump that doesn't have any chance of getting in the hole, but I can just, get up on the green, the whole goal is to get on the green. And let's force a shootout. Try not to lose out on the course. Yeah, and I'm going to have to do that. But here I don't have to do the overpower that I did before. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of room. Let's see what all my massive side spin can do for me. What I'm looking at is the end of my ball guide and the cup. 1.5. I'm at max. It's a max. It's 1.0 per ring, so 1.5 is 1.5 rings. I'm going to put a little bit of curl to bring it over towards the cup. And a grate to the right is not going to help me, but it'll still get me up there. Give myself an opportunity for a putt, force a shootout. My opponent put themselves in a spot where they're going to make it to the shootout, and I need to make sure I make it to the shootout. Do not lose on the course. If you're going to lose in a shootout. If every single time you got on the course, the only way your opponent could beat you is to get you in a shootout, you're going to win a lot of games just out on the course. And my opponent did a Gordon and missed the putt, because I am not the best putter in the game, and I can tell you I've missed putts just like that. I almost feel like giving my opponent a break and going to a shootout, but we're out here playing for chests. That's the whole deal. Put the hammer down. Hammer. Good game. Good game. Let's see if they'll rematch us. Maybe. They walked away in disgust because they missed that putt. 1, 2, 3. There we go. All right. I was going to give them 10 seconds. I'm not going to wait around for you forever. All right. Now we got the big decision. How long have we been shooting? We've been shooting 43 minutes, so we're close. I don't think... Do we have 2 more games in us? We might. Man, I hate paying $40 to open up one of those chests. And it's $36 to open up one of these. All right. We'll open up one of these. I think we have 2 more games. Let's see if we can get 2 more wins. Victorious. Let's go in there and make sure that this first one right here, we want to clear it out because it can, what did it replace it with? Play 3 games. And we got 2 left in us. So we'll have to do 2 today and 1 some other time. Is tomorrow Thursday already? Man, I don't even know what day it is. Tomorrow is Thursday. Tomorrow we've got the opening round, so I got 3 accounts in. I got a pro and 2 rookies, and I'm not sure if I'll have time to play all 3. If I don't have time to play all 3, I won't play the pro. I'll just play the 2 rookies. Maybe. I don't know. depends on how much time I got. I won't be around this weekend, so it's going to be rough on me this weekend. See where my second bounce is? I'm going down into the chute. That might actually go too far. Yeah, let's pull over here so we're not hitting the freaking bush. I actually think that's going to go too far. I'm going to hit it just to see. It's 2.6. It's 2 divided by 2.6 is 3/4 of a ring. Hitting it perfect. I think that's going to roll out and go too far. And I'm going to end up in the sand on the end. Now I'm going to end up in the rough because I didn't adjust for it right, but I can recover from there. The one thing about having low-level stuff that I really miss is a Nirvana and a Spitfire. And the sand wedge and the rough iron. Because I have a Jungleist in this account, and I'm not happy about that, I can tell you. And I'm not so sure that I have no idea. I don't have enough confidence in it because I haven't had to make enough pulls with it to know like what the deal is. But I think of my rough irons, it's got the best ball guide, the most distance. There's max, there's mid, there's quarter. I'm in the man, oh man. It's like 15 per ring. So I mean, like with a 1 mile an hour wind, I'm not going to move it hardly at all. I'm just going to set it up off to the side, and we'll see if it rolls out. If I can hit it perfect. And a 1 ring grate to the right is not perfect. Speed was right, though. Speed was right. My opponent set them up. There is a great rough bump right there. I don't know that the thorn... what level thorn do they got? They got a level 2 thorn. It has no topspin, so they can't do the rough bump. Oh, nice. Nice shot. Nice shot. Nice shot, my man. Sure. Beat me. I opened up a slot, and then you went out there and beat me. Let's play that again. Good game. Good game. Let's rematch. Come on, dude. I'm willing to let you have some more money. Let's go. There you go. There we go. We got a player. Maybe I'll beat them here, and they'll give us a rubber match, and then we can get some bonus content. Chateau. Is it Lavande? Okay, we know how we're going to play this one. My opponent's got an extra mile 6, and they're going to play it. Yeah, there you go. You better bring out a bag with a big dog. That's the thing. If you want to hit over there, you need to bring out a big hitting wood. Normally in my utility bag, I carry a big hitting wood. I carry a big dog, but I'm pretty sure in this account I'm using a sniper. Yes. So first of all, the wind is 2.8 divided by 2.6. And I did some extra last time. So it's 2.8. It's 1.07 rings. So I'm gonna do like 1 1/4. I'm gonna put that curl on it in order to get it back into the fairway. Isn't it perfect? Almost too much curl. My opponent has a better angle to the cup, and they got a bigger hitting wood. So they got the shot. They got a straight shot to the cup. And that ball is going to go a mile. Well, they got a headwind. And they didn't take the wind out. So the wind is going to push them no matter what. It's going to push them, even on that perfect, it should push them to the right. And they barely hit right there, so they are going to clip the rough. Now with upper developed clubs, that shot right there, I'm not going to say it's a gimme, but you got a serious opportunity to make that. But with lower developed clubs, that can be a distance that is the killer. I'm going to pull back from the red line a little bit so I have enough room to work out the wind. Put on all my massive curl and a little teeny bit of topspin. Now I got to watch out about how much curl I put on it, because this second shot is going to arc over when I put curl, and I don't want to clip the rough. I don't want to be like my opponent. So it's 3-7. So I can put some curl on it, but I can't put on a lot. I'm going to do 4. I'm going to add on a little. And then I'm going to put on just a little bit of curl. And I'm going to hit it great to the right. Which is probably a good thing, because if I would have hit it perfect, you could see on that arc there, the rough is going like this, and I'm set up out here, but if I put too much curl on it, I'll clip the rough. And I hit about right here. So if I'd hit it perfect, I think I did put too much curl on it, and I would have clipped the rough. I still would have got out because of my forward momentum would have thrown me out of it, but my opponent hits perfect, and they must be using a Firefly, because what other epic wedge would they be using? Is this going to be the first shootout we've gone to this whole time? I think have I gone to any other shootouts, or have we just been I've either won or they've either won out on the course? Hitting it perfect. That's the thing about a Firefly is, if you hit it perfect, it goes right where that one went. But if you don't hit it perfect, you don't know. It's not accurate. It's a draw. Why does this feel like the first shootout? Played for an hour and didn't go to a shootout? Either won or got beat. I go first. Where am I at? There's Max. There's Min. I'm eking Min. There's Mid. I'm gonna say it's Min. And Min is 1.2 per ring. Hey, I'm gonna get right up to the hole. 4 divided by 1.2. 3.33. I'm gonna do 3-4. There's 3, 4, exactly. Hitting it perfect. And the wind was blowing this direction, and I did a straight up adjustment, and it pushed me off the cup. So if I would have hit it, if I needed to do a bigger wind adjustment on it, I needed to add a variable to it. Some people in the game will call those elevation adjustments. It's not an elevation adjustment. There is an elevation change on this hole, but the adjustment that we're doing is a variable, because it's not consistent across the game. You can be on another hole that has as much elevation drop. Like if you put a post up right here, if anybody knows how to do elevation, they put a post up right here and they go out and they measure to the post and they see what kind of drop they got. If we did that here, we could go to 15 other holes in the game that have exactly the same drop in elevation, but the adjustment that you would do would be different for all of them. Some of them it's 10, some of them it's 15. One of them might be 30. Hey, why are you giving me the I'm pissed off? Come on, bud. That's a good game. That's a good game. Come on, man. Let's go. Oh, we didn't get any bonus content. But we do have time for one more. I'm going to go win one more right here. Not now. You don't want to know what my rating of the game is right now, so let's not do that right now. I will say the one thing I'm not seeing out on this course is I'm not seeing signs that are right in the middle of our way on a perfect shot. I was 2 rings off. I think I'd pulled back just a little. 3.7. So it's 3.7 divided by 2.6. It's 1.42. I'm going to add on 10%. 1.1 times 1.56. I'm going to do 1.5. Just 1.5. Just 1.5. And we need to not do as much curl as I did last time. I think I was out here last time. I'm going to come in hitting it perfect. Well, we're getting the same hole over and over again. And I was concerned about rolling out too much if I put on all my topspin and got out there, and I pulled back a little bit for the wind, but there is enough room out there for me to go all the way to the end to run all my topspin. I don't really want to get any closer than right here, because you look at the front of this right here. What it does is it's flat and then it rolls off, and if you hit right here in the front, it's going to take a flat bounce. And you're not actually going to net any more yardage, even though you hit farther forward here. At the end, you're actually going to end up shorter than if you hit right here, because this spot up here is going to give you a bounce that's going to go high in the air and it's going to loft it. And so you're going to get the full bounces as you go through. But if you hit in the front, it's going to take a flat bounce and it'll just dig you in on the other side. It's one of those situations where it's not beneficial to hit the ball farther. And it was definitely not beneficial, because we all know from seeing this hole before that it's tough to get on from there with a wood. So even if you had a Nirvana, and I keep getting farther and farther back. I'm going to just try and hit it straight up. 4.7. Let's just do 4.7. I feel like I need to add on a little, so I'm going to do 5. I probably need to add on more, and I'm not going to do any curl. And I'm going to hit it great to the right, which is even less curl. And we'll give myself a long chip from here. That is, even with the Firefly, that's like mid club. I'll be able to run my topspin and pull it close to me, so I really won't be that far away. And my opponent spotted me a shot, so I got a little bit of leeway here. This is what I'm saying. If you're using a rough cutter, even though it's level 6, it's still a crappy club. Like if you went to the store to go buy a club, you would wait until you had a little bit more money so you could buy a better club than a level 6 rough cutter, because you're not going to get very far. So when you've got lower developed stuff, it is so important not to end up in the rough, to play in the fairway, because that's where your best hitting clubs are at. They may be low level clubs, but I can tell you they will hit better than your rough iron and your sand wedge. Stay in the fairway. All right, I should be able to pull way back. You can see where my club is, like distance-wise. Where's max? There's max. There's mid. So I'm deep into my club. So wind should not be a factor here. So if I hit it perfect, it should go in the hole. But if you don't hit it perfect, I'm not so sure. In the hole, eagle. One of the things you won't see a lot of, you will, a lot of people with the lower wins, you're down here playing, they'll eyeball it. And there's a lot of players that are really good players that have been playing for a long time and they don't do anything but eyeball it. But if you come down here and you've got lower developed stuff and you know your club numbers and you have a calculator handy, you can make it easier on yourself to stay in the fairway. You will have a lot more success doing the wind ring method. I know some people will laugh at you and they'll give you shit about doing it on your drives and stuff, but you know what, dude? It's all about consistency. So I do the wind ring method. Into hole. Winner, chicken dinner. I went to one shootout in an hour. Look at that. All right, and we got our chest slots all full, so now we can hang out until the next time we play. Now, if you're buying stuff, I have to buy stuff. I worked it out when I first started playing. It's with any of these games, it's like going to the movies. You don't get to go to the movies for free. They want you to buy popcorn, and you want to buy stuff, and you want to go get some clothes, you got to go pay for them. You want some entertainment, you want to go to the Six Flags, you want to go to some park and do some entertainment, you want to do the merry-go-round, you got to pay. And this is no different. And so if you are buying stuff, I spend the mass majority, especially when you're playing one-on-one. That's why I play with a Marlin, because it doesn't cost a lot. And I like to play with the Marlin because it's got a little side spin. And I really like the side spin. And so I'm willing to pay the little bit of cheddar, the little bit of gems to get Marlin balls. But I primarily spend most of my gems just opening up chests. So like, hey, I'm sitting here, I'm watching TV, I'm chilling out at home, and I'm playing, and I don't want to stop. Well, I'm not going to play anymore if I've got 4 slots that are full, because I'm not going to be able to win anything. And the whole deal is you want to get club cards so that you can get your clubs higher. People bitch that, well, you got really high level clubs. Hey, well, you don't get high level clubs unless you're opening up a lot of chests. That's the deal. So I don't like to play without empty slots. So if you're buying stuff, and think about it, this is how I worked it when I first started playing, trying to maximize your stuff. If you want to get 4 gold chests, now this math doesn't always work out exactly right, but this is a pretty good guidepost. Every 4 chests is a gold. And so let's say you started off and you had no chests, and you want to get 4 gold chests. That means you're going to have to win. You're going to have to win 16 games. Now, if you have a 50% win percentage, that means you had to play 32 games, 32, in order to win 16. And I played, 8 or 9 games right there. So, if you're trying to do, let's say you could play 1 game every 6 minutes. So you're at 10 games in an hour. You're looking at 3 hours worth of play in order to win 32 games or play 32 games in order to win 16. 2.5, 3 hours. And you're thinking, man, I don't play it 2.5, 3 hours. Well, what you can do is, if you have a 75% win percentage, that means you only have to play 24 games in order to win 16. And you could probably do that in 2 hours. So you could save yourself some huge time, and you're still getting the same amount of wins and you can do this simply by knowing your numbers. And by having a sheet that's got numbers on it and a calculator. And so when you get on those shots, you'll know, like, hey, I need to do this. And it's not that you're going to make the shot every time you're going to end up in the hole, but the deal is that you went from the tee box to the fairway. You went from the fairway to the green. You made your chip, you made your putt, you moved to a shootout. And you're going to win a lot of times, especially on the lower tours, you're going to win a bunch right here because you played fairway to green, or tee box to fairway to green. And you're on those monster par fives and you got a lower power ball, you know, you may have to play tee box to fairway to green, and you're still going to be ahead of your opponent. So just staying in the field so that you can do it. So if you're trying to open up, now think about this. We go back to we're trying to get 16 wins so that we can have 4 gold chests. Well, that means we had to open up 12 chests, 12 silvers, and they're 20 a chest. So on any given day that you're playing, you're gonna need 240 gems just to open up those chests so that you can get these 4 golds. And then you may have to tomorrow open up, speed up the last gold chest, but you have to kind of stay on it during the day in order to get your chests open just from time. And then you may have to speed one of them up. So you're probably looking at, at least 240, maybe a little bit more in the course of any given day. So you have a 7-day week. Okay, 7 times 240. Well, that's 1,400. And then 7 times 40 is 280. So we're looking at 1,680 gems. Well, a $5 pack, like this is a $5 pack right here. Let's look at a $5 pack. We got a $5 pack right here. We get 45 kingmakers and 500 gems. That's not a bad deal. The best deal in the whole week is if you go in on a Monday qualifying round and you use it for a practice round, and they'll offer you the $199 or the $299 special where you get 500 gems. You used to get katanas. I'm not sure if you still get katanas. And you get 500 gems for $1.99. So, and you could do the same thing on Tuesday if you wanted to press your luck and wait till Wednesday to do it. Or if you're not playing in tournaments, you can go out Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and for $6, you can get 1,500 gems, and that's enough for the week. And you did it for, $15. If you buy a bigger pack, obviously you're going to get more gems so that you can do the deal, but it'll cost you more money. But trying to maximize this, the best deal is to not qualify on Monday and at least buy that pack. And then the day you qualify, once you qualify, then they're going to offer you, where is that pack? They're going to offer you this pack. So when you do play in tournaments, you'd have some kingmakers. So trying to maximize your dollars. But if you're trying to go up the scales and you really want to get your clubs up, you have to open up a lot of chests. And the sad part about it is, and the thing that nobody ever talks about is that, and you're not buying your clubs, but you have to have gems in order to speed up chests. Otherwise, you're waiting. So, like, if you didn't have a lot of gems, I don't have a lot of gems. I got 373. I could open all those up and keep playing. I could open up this one and the tournament chest and this one so that I could get it down and we could keep playing to try and get golds. But once you start doing that, you're in that cycle. If you're doing it, you've got to be able to replenish those gems. I'm not saying that you should buy stuff, but if you're doing it, especially when you get these packs, if you're the type of person that buys packs, I will tell you, like, we just had was it the Open? No, was it the Open or the Players? What was the game? The Pebble Beach, where they had the first ball that we've had that had 5 stats. If you're the type of person that wants to spend a little bit of money on it, buying a bigger pack so that you have more, plus you get more of those balls. So if you do play in tournaments, you have a bigger selection of balls. That's part of the deal on my accounts is I don't have a lot of balls. Like in my 77 account, I have a much bigger ball selection, but I don't have a lot of any ball. I have a lot of Titans. Because you used to win Titans in tournaments, and so at one point I had like 12 or 1,300 Titans. And I've got like 130 Berserkers. So, I got a few of them, but it doesn't take very long to burn through that stuff. There you go. That was a little bit of one-on-one play in Tour 4 with a low-level account. So, I'm not a rocket scientist. All I have is a piece of paper with some numbers on it and a calculator. And you can be pretty successful. And you obviously have a lot more fun when you're winning. So, if you've got new clubs, it can be very frustrating because you end up in the rough, you end up in the sand, and the whole deal is don't get in the sand, don't get in the rough. Stay in the fairway. Have your numbers. Use a calculator. And thanks for watching. Thanks for being a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, hit subscribe, hit the like button, ring the bell, leave a comment. Let me know if you like this type of content. And I will, if you do, I'll keep shooting it. And if you don't, I don't know what I'll do. I might still keep shooting it. Thanks for watching.